Hey folks, how you doing? It's Thursday night, end of day one. Just doing a quick blog here before I pack up the room, pack up the truck. And for those of you who haven't seen, I weighed in 13.5 pounds today. I'm sitting at about 84th, I believe 84th spot exactly. So you know, that seems to be my home this year. Anywhere from 60th to 90th, but yeah, call me Mr. Middle of the Pack. But I had, you know, I'm okay with that. I had a tough practice, but I made a really long run today. I actually ran about 75 miles south. The school of fish that I was running to actually didn't give me anything, gave me one keeper, and then I moved a little further down the bank and got onto a very active school of fish and filled up my limit really fast. Lost a couple fish, but actually had a really rookie amateur mistake today. I had fish on a crankbait, and we're catching a lot of small fish. Like I probably caught 30 short fish today, and I thought this was yet another short fish, so I didn't call for the net. And when it got up to the side of the boat, it was in fact a 3-pounder. And you know, in a split second I panicked. I tried to swing it in, and that fish came off. Probably came off about 1.5 feet off the boat, kind of slow motion through the air, and then slowly dropped out into sight. So really amateur mistake. I had that fish on you know, on fluorocarbon, on a big soft rod. I could have let it go and waited for my net to come there, and I pushed it. So, you know, lesson learned. But that school of fish, we left them biting because the wind was up, so we had a long run back. I was afraid it was going to be a rough ride. It turned out it wasn't. So we left when the fish were still active. So I'm going back to those fish tomorrow, another 75 miles, and you know, hopefully I can get at least a limit and a little bit more out of it. I believe the check range right now, 50th place, is 15.5 pounds. So if you double it, say 31 pounds. So I'm going to need probably an 18-pound bag tomorrow to move up into check range, which is very doable, and could happen very fast out here. There are some great bags brought in. I believe 10th place is well over 20 pounds, 21 pounds in fact. Larry Nixon is leading with 25 pounds. He had great fish. He actually said he was done fishing at 10:30, so you know, he had a really good morning. All of my fish actually came on the deep diving crankbait. Let's see if we can get this up here. You get a look at that? That is a Strike King Series 6 Chartreuse Sexy Shad, and that's what every single fish I weighed in came on today. My co-angler had 4 fish, and all his fish came on football heads. I couldn't get him going on the football head. Wrong color, wrong technique, I don't know, but I really had confidence in this crankbait, which is, you know, surprising because something I don't do at home back in Canada very often is this deep diving crankbait thing. And I was actually lucky enough to find a really awesome rod in my arsenal that'll handle these big crankbaits. It's a Shimano 711, and it's actually designed as a swim bait rod. And this particular rod is a medium heavy extra fast. And what it's got, you know, lots of power, but this really soft tip. So when that big crankbait's diving deep, you know, the rod can hold it. Running it on 12-pound fluorocarbon on a 5-to-1 reel. This is actually one of the older Curados. Great setup. I was really impressed with it. So yeah, that's my deal. I'm running down there tomorrow. Have a much longer day. Today I had to be in at 2:50, and actually left my fish probably around noon because I thought it was going to be a little rough. It turns out it wasn't rough. It was just pretty windy in the little corridor we were fishing. So I fished my way back, but tomorrow there's supposed to be little to no wind, so we're going to have all day down there on those fish. Bounce around a few other spots. The 2 guys I run with, Christian Romans, he had 14.5 pounds today. He's sitting in about 60th place, just about a pound out of the money. and John Voiles had an awesome day. He had 19 and change. He's in 16th place. So he feels he's in a position to make the top 10, and I really, really hope he does, because you know, you want your friends to do well, and I think this is a great opportunity for John to do well. So that wraps this up. Tomorrow, like I said, looking for 18 pounds to get into that 31 pound range. Now, the rule, if you talk to most guys, the rule on cut weights and check weights, you double the first day and subtract a pound. So that would actually set the 50th place at about 30 pounds, which means technically 16.5 pounds I should get in there, but I'm not going to stop until I get, well, I'm not going to stop, let's put it that way. So that wraps things up. Tomorrow night, of course, I need a 28 pound bag to make the cut, so I'll be probably hitting the road right after the tournament, heading home, and a couple days, I believe on Wednesday, I'll start practicing in Montreal for the B1. Pretty excited about that. Actually, we're talking about it with the FLW guys. They're excited to be involved. They're setting up a live release boat. It's great to see FLW getting a foot in the door in Canada, both working with the B1 and with the TBF Federation chapters in Ontario. So that wraps things up, and we'll talk to you folks when I get home. Fill you in on what happened last day, or tomorrow. Take care.